What's up, y'all? Sorry to make y'all wait, but we about to get right into it because I've been made y'all wait long enough. Technical issues. That that's what happens when you're dealing with the internet, with Jeff Bezos' internet. That's what happens. And you just that's what it is, all right? But y'all still here. Y'all still. Oh, hold on. I got my music playing in the background. I had this channel playing in the background on my own screen. Let me fix that. All right, I got it. I got it fixed. Well, anyway, we here. We about to talk about Kamala Harris and are black women really supporting Kamala Harris? And of course, we're going to get into the details of the murder of Sonya Massey and for me personally, that's why I had to have my guest on today. I'm PTSD'd out from all these shootings and shit from my last. I told y'all know the history of my last job, and so I have a tough time dealing with a lot of this stuff. But so I brought somebody on who's always on the front lines of this good stuff for us people. Nicole, y'all know who she is. Nicole's View. I came to know her years ago as being on the front lines, really telling the truth about Bill Cosby and what was going on. The difference between what was going on and what they're reporting and what was going on. Same thing with Michael Jackson. She was really stomped down for the Leaving Neverland, and so she's somebody who's always down for our people, and she has a very reasonable voice when it comes to issues with our people, and really just with honesty in general, with matters of what we're dealing with. People with a good nature and a good intent is dealing with. She has a heart for that. And so that's why I invited Nicole on, because I've been seeing her on Twitter going heavy. Y'all saw me yesterday. I even posted her Twitter on here. She was going hard for Sonya Massey, and so I wanted to bring her on so she could break down, what's going on with that case, what we need to know, what we can do, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about Kamala and why Kamala, it seems like from my point of view, why all these good Negroes, Kamala, but while we got a Democrat in office and Kamala running, this black woman got massacred on TV and right in front of us, and neither of them are saying anything. So is it going to be another Obama administration where we have a black leadership while black people get lynched left and right when nothing gets done about it? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. Anyway, I want to go ahead and bring on my guest, Miss Nicole's View. That's what she goes by in public. So I got my settings all messed up. What's up, Nicole?
Hey, Dewan, thank you so much. And my deepest apologies. Y'all know, usually I am on camera, but my husband decided to update my computer. And then with this new software, it constantly asks for password,
Mm.
changing it. And I kept changing it, and now I forgot it. So I'm completely locked out of my computer, lighting, everything.
I
So, but
bet.
we're going to get it back in order.
It's all good. Technical difficulties happen, and I want to thank you, chat room, for being patient with us. Y'all are patient with us.
Thank
Coming
you.
on 20 minutes after, but y'all still here. We still got y'all in here. So I need y'all to do is like and share. Hit the like button, please. Share it. Um, and
Yes.
subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And first off, you know, I want to, so can you tell us what's going on with the Sonya Massey case? Because I think this is very important. But me personally, like I told you on the phone, I'm too clicked out to really get involved into the details. So I want you to give the details to the people and let us know what's going on and where we at with it.
Absolutely. So this story I heard bubbling about, I want to say almost a week ago. There were folks kind of talking about it and we're like, what's going on? What's going on? And then on Monday, the police cam footage was released, to everyone. This
Uh,
was, yeah, this was said. Oh, is everything okay?
no, it's okay.
Oh,
I'm like the
oh, you're
footage.
listening. Oh, okay.
No, I'm just thinking about that footage when I saw I saw too much. I didn't want to see what I saw.
Correct, correct.
I
I've
didn't
been
want to see what I
trying
saw.
to Right. I've been trying not to. I mean, I have been retweeting. I try, if I do retweet that, I try to retweet the news where they blank it out where you don't see it. It's it's
Mm-hmm.
blurred out. Because I hate sharing it, but at the same time, I'm so enraged, and you want people to know that this is happening still.
Yeah.
And like they said, the story was being talked about like last week, I want to say, and people were like, "What?" Trying to get the details. And then when the video footage came out on Monday, everyone was just shocked. It
Mm-hmm.
was despicable. It was evil, diabolical. You can tell that this particular cop, is it Grayson, I believe his last name is?
Grayson, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that this cop was on something. He was on one.
Mm.
He was on one, even when he first came and approached her at that front door, because the story goes that she felt that there was an intruder was trying to break into her home. So
Mm-hmm.
she called them, you know, and it's being alleged that she suffers from schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
So that would explain maybe her behavior, because I've seen some folks ask, like, why did she let them in? Why did she do this? Why did she do that? Well, if she's suffering from some sort of mental illness, she's not going to think like we think, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
So we
Very
have to
true.
keep that in mind. Right. So you see this footage, and he even asks her, how are you feeling mentally? And she says, I took my medicine along those lines. I'm fine. But you can tell she's shaken up about hearing someone trying to possibly break into her home. We don't even know if that's true or not, but that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
And then you see this cop. You see he's on one. He's on a power trip. He's up to something. And I think she knew, because she kept calling on God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, God, like, oh my God. She was kind of doing that like in a nervous way. She felt that. She felt
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you see this footage, and it is strange that they look around her home and everything. They're looking for anything, and they're saying we don't see anything. And I do wonder why they had to come in her home. If they've already looked and checked and there's nothing there, why did they even have to go that far? That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. But I guess with her maybe still being nervous, they wanted to reassure her. So they come in, and then they're asking for ID and all this kind of stuff. And then here we go with the pot of water on the stove.
Uh-huh.
And they're so concerned about this pot of water, at least Grayson seems to be. And he's telling her to go take this pot of water off the stove. So she goes to do that. And she asks, "Why are you backing up?" Grayson seems to be backing up. She knows something is up with this guy.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
asking him, "Why are you backing up?" Like, I'm just taking the water off the stove. And then, he's like, "Well," along the lines, I'm paraphrasing, "Well, I don't want to get splashed with water." It's almost like he's trying to conjure up something. He's trying to conjure up some sort of scenario where he can kill her. And I believe that's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." She says this twice.
Oh.
She says this. And some folks said she said it in a kind of a joking way. And then he's like, "I'll basically blow your head off. I'll blow your effing head off." And she's like, "I'm
Boy.
sorry, I'm sorry." And then, before you know it, she's on the ground and he shoots her. This is what we're dealing with. This
Mm.
is what we're dealing with. This is war.
Wow.
This is evil. Who would do something like this? This is a woman asking for help, thinking she's getting help, but she gets murdered. She knew that he was there to do something. I believe he was looking for an opportunity to kill one of us. And I don't know if you saw Tariq and she's tweets lately. And when he was, taken in and all that, you see the tattoos.
Mm.
You see the
I didn't
skulls,
see
and he's
that.
like,
Wow. Okay. I gotta go
yeah,
watch that.
he's saying that Tariq said that those tattoos look to be like they are known in the Nazi white supremacist circles.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think it was an initiation. I think he was looking to kill her.
Mm.
My personal opinion, because it doesn't make sense, Dewan.
Yeah. I
You don't do that.
I thank you for illustrating to us what it is, and I know a lot of you guys saw it. If you guys all want to go and see this, you guys are free to go and look and see this. Personally, I can't. I don't. I can't do it. So I appreciate you, Nicole, for telling us what it is, so I can, now I know what happened. And so she was in the house, and they came. So what you're saying, to go back, is for those of us who didn't see it, she was in the house. She invited them into the house. She seemed a little bit nervous because maybe she felt their nervous energy. The police officer himself seemed, Grayson, he seemed a little bit on one. And we are, look, if you're not black, then stay out of this. But if you black, we've all, especially black men, and I'm sure black women too, we've all felt that nervous tinge from police officers when we come across them, and you don't know what can happen. I remember it was a couple times, one time in particular, because here in LA, they tend not to mess with the women as bad, the LAPD, but they mess with us men. And my wife had never had any issues with the LAPD her whole life until one day I had gotten pulled over, and then she saw it. And then she saw that. She was like, wow, I think if I wasn't there, they'd blow your head off. So we've all had that feeling. So, and a lot of my black women, you know the feeling. Even if it wasn't you in particular that the police are pulling over, you've driven by it and just been able to feel that feeling. So us black folks, we know that feeling when they own one. And the world tries to minimize our feelings and say, how do you know? And try to get us all technical. So when you get that feeling, that nervous energy can get up in the room, and the nervousness itself makes tension gets bigger than it would have been. So you're dealing with a trained professional police officer, quote unquote trained professional, coming into someone's home with an intense feeling. I've had this conversation with cops, like when they talk about like how they had coworkers who were like that and it messed the situation up for everything. And like for me, I was never no cop, but for a couple years I did security in Hollywood at the nightclubs. And I know it would always be that every time it was a big fight with security guards, it was always that security guard that was on one, coming into a situation on one. The energy is real. When you come into a situation, especially as a quote unquote authority in the room, and elevate the height and the tension in the situation, that's some real stuff that, we as a people, we cannot allow other people to have us minimize that and to blow it off to the side, because we all experience it and it's all real. And those are the same spidey senses that when you listen to them, and I'm not saying she didn't because she was trapped in the house, but I'm saying, but for those of us who, she obviously was right about something, but it was a little bit too late for her. She was right. And you be right too when you be giving them the spotty senses. But people be the first ones to dismiss it because it's not technically thing and it's no science. So that means something. I just wanted to highlight that part. So I want to go again step by step for those of us who didn't see it. So they come in, she feels the nervous energy. She says, like you said, she was boiling water or something like that. Yeah, there was a pot of water boiling on the stove. Okay.
And this cop is like, you need to go take care of that, boiling water on the stove so the house doesn't burn down. He made a comment like that. And she goes and does it.
Ah,
Yeah. So I
smart
feel
ass
like
comment.
yeah. I feel like he was setting the whole thing up, Dwan. In my opinion, he
Uh-huh.
was setting it up. I think he was setting that whole entire ordeal up to happen. And I think he found it. And then once he did it, you have folks out here now saying she threw the pot of water at him, and that's not true at all. It's a flat out lie. So you already have people out here trying to create their own story.
Uh-huh.
And
Like
he
like what
also
people
turned
do.
off his body cam.
Exactly what
But
people do when narratives don't fit, whatever they put in their little small minds, they create one to go that didn't happen. So we're dealing with
correct.
that now. Okay. And
Hmm.
and so that's another element we're dealing with. What about, so after, so she didn't throw the water on him. So
No.
she's in there and she's obviously nervous. At what point do they pull the weapons out and do whatever they do?
So as soon as it's right after she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, she said that twice. And then that's when he pulled out the gun and said, I'll shoot you in the effing face. And then she even had the pot holders in her hands when she saw that, and then she dropped to the ground. And then he came over and, gave himself enough room where he could see and shot her in the face. He shot her. He shot her. And then the other cop that was in there with him, he's like, let me go get my, med stuff. And he's like, oh man, that was a headshot. That was a headshot. I don't know what much you can do with that. I'm paraphrasing for those who've seen it. That's what he did. That's what he said. Like it was a video game. It's sick, Dewan. It's sick. I know it is so sick to do
So
something like that.
damn. See, that's why I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick, Dewan. That is some sick stuff
Oh,
and
so
energy. She picked up on that.
so she got down in a surrender position.
Basically had her hands up, dropped down because she was scared, and then he just shot her in the face. As she's already dropping, he shoots her right in the face. So to me, that was premeditated, especially when he said, I'm going to shoot you in the effing face after she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Said it twice.
Wow.
And she was just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Right after she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, she's like, I'm sorry. And then she kind of froze with the pot holders and then dropped. And he shot her.
Wow. So it was like that. That's because I saw people saying execution style, but
Yeah.
like I said, I wasn't about to
Yep.
watch to find out.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
But locally, like if you do run across like a blurred, you don't see it because it's blurred out. But I know there may be unedited versions. I don't want to see the unedited, but at least with the edited versions, as long as I don't see it, but I see the initial confrontation and all that. But if it's blurred out, that's the only way I can stomach and see it. But if it's not, I don't see how people are looking at the unedited stuff. That's just too much for me. So, but
and
it
like
is
even
just
now, I was looking for like on the screen. I'll go back to that screen. Even now, when I go, I was looking for like news. Everything
mm-hmm,
else, like when I hit the original search, everything is footage release, footage release, footage release. I don't want to see that shit.
right.
I just wanted to go somewhere where that's why I clicked on the Al Jazeera. But look, I had to go to the Al Jazeera link to give her
Mm-hmm,
some dignity. Because if you notice, when those folks die, they don't put it all over the damn camera. You know what I mean?
right.
It's footage of that dude up there getting shot and that tried to shoot Trump. Even somebody who tried to kill the possible next president. They don't have that footage all over the place. Everything. Look this. I want everybody to look on my Google. Look at me right now. Look at the screens right now. I want everybody look at the screen right now. Look at all the United States of American sources. The Guardian, got body cam footage. NBC, CBS, BBC. That's even the British motherfuckers got it. But that's the same
Oh
people,
yeah.
the same Anglo-Saxon people. CNN, CNN, The Guardian, body cam, NBC Chicago. It's not until I get to Al Jazeera, the people that they call these are supposed to be the terrorists. Remember, these are supposed to be the people
Mm-hmm,
representing the terrorists. This is the
mm-hmm,
only publication on the first page of Google that talks about the story without the headline of video or the footage. And I want to
right.
make this point, and I'm gonna get right back to you real quick, Nicole. I want to make this point because I had this
Mm-hmm,
conversation last night with a comic. Because black people be the first ones to be like, "We the only ones, we the only ones, we the only ones." Stop that bullshit. Because I was giving some comics some game about like titling your YouTube videos and how like when you enter for this algorithm and this Nicole, how it
oh
likes
yeah.
controversy, and I get the controversy part of it, but it's a line to it. And
Mm-hmm,
but there's a line between controversy and going overboard and just being salacious. You know, you can
right.
write something in a controversial tone to hook the imagination without being salacious. And
Right.
these here they like being salacious with it. And he was like, it's black folks, we the worst. The black folks. That's why. Cause I was like, nigga, it's not a black thing. It's a human. First, it's a human thing. If you're human, humans are already predisposed to like shock and awe, whatever. But just as
Mm-hmm,
Americans, whether you white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever you are, people are into it. But when it comes to America, when it comes to American media, and then people up top, they're downright scandalous with how they title things and the angle they cover it with. They cover it with. It's like on one hand, it's human to try to draw the people in by saying something that's controversial to capture their imagination. It's another thing to say some shit and lead you to a conclusion and just force death, blood, and gore down your throat. What do you think about that? Being somebody who's been covering media and you being someone who covered Michael Jackson so expertly, like
Mhm.
I always say, you need to go down in history for how you covered Michael Jackson and for how you covered Bill Cosby. You really do because you really were putting the news out there. How do you were able to attract a large audience from that without being salacious, without being on that BS? How did you like? What do you think about what I just said? And what's your point of view on like a different way of doing this thing?
I think, thank you so much, first of all. That means a lot to me. And secondly, because the American media can literally get away with anything. There's no sort of laws against it. It's free speech. So they get away with it. I mean, you will see some of the craziest things, like for the New York Post, for instance, we call it the New York Compost. They will have some of the wildest, racist, trashiest,
Oh, they so
insane
racist.
headlines because
Yeah,
they allow them to get away with it. And
yeah,
I think they feel like it's okay. This is whatever sells, right? Whatever gets folks' attention, right? If there was some sort of, uh, humanity, some sort of, decency, and maybe laws, I think that would change. But I think we live in a society, a culture, a country that it's all about being seen no matter what you got to do, you do it. It's
right.
wild. It's wild.
It's most definitely wild. And so like, so we going back to the shooting, Sonya
Mhm.
Massey. We see this outcry from the grassroots. Nick Young, a former NBA player, talked about. He put up a post saying these niggas basically y'all playing in the Olympics and they said nothing about saying Sonya Massey. And it
Mm,
was a thought that I had. This is a thought that I had last night when I was out, and I want to talk to you about it because we
yeah.
about to start talking about Kamala Harris too.
Hmm.
Over the last weekend, we saw all of this stuff going around talking about black women raised $2 million and black men raised $3 million for Kamala and Kamala this and Kamala that. All of these celebrity voices that are now speaking up for Kamala this and Kamala that. We see all this going on, and but when it came to reparations, we didn't get none of those celebrity voices. And when it came to anyone to step up for Michael Jackson, for Bill Cosby, that saw that he was being done wrong, they didn't step up. When it comes to what's going on right now with Sonya Massey, they're not stepping up. What is it like this fight that you've been in for a long time from the grassroots till now? What do you think it's going to take, or is going to there going to be a time that you get these celebrities to come over to our side and support what we have going on, what's really true to the grassroots, and still the way they I'm sorry the way they support the Democrats? You think that's going to happen,
Do I think that we will eventually gain like the attention of the celebrities and whatnot,
or do you think
and
it's
that
even
aspect?
necessary?
You know what? Great question. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think we need them. Although it's nice, although it's nice to have, because I have a few friends and folks I know that are well known and whatnot. But I think when you are authentic, you want the truth to be told and you gain a following, a momentum. I think over time, if you can get enough people to be behind you, I think we can override these folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel like if enough of us wake up, if enough of us, as Tariq says, get on code, if enough of us can do it, I think we can be a powerful force. But unfortunately, I think when you get in a certain position, when you're a celebrity or someone like that, these folks are all in the same circles. So you got the
Mm-hmm.
celebrities, you got the politicians, you got, so it's almost like it's kind of pointless to try to get their help because they're already connected at the hip, money, a little bit of everything. So for me, that's why I loved doing my own thing, like with the Cosby stuff, because I saw that a majority of the people, most people, they're not going to sit down and read and get the truth about a story like that. They're just going to go by clickbait headlines, these social media entertainment pages. They're not going to take the time to actually research. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I was like, you know what? I want to do the total opposite of what everyone else is doing because it's easy to get online, you hear something like this, a scandal like this, and just go along with it. But I wasn't working at that time. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit up here and just allow them to feed me anything. I'm going to go look into this.
Mm.
And when I started looking into this, I started getting connections from people in his circle. And they're like, we absolutely love what you're doing because this is actually what is going on. And you would have other folks you would connect with that's been studying the case and whatnot. And then you start getting the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when we are living under a system of propaganda. We are fed propaganda 24/7, no matter the topic, the issue. We're fed it. We're force fed it. And for the most part, most people are just going to go along with it because, they're living their lives. They don't have time to break down and see what's true, what's not. So unfortunately, it's just going to take some voices to stand up and say, you know what, I'm not just going to go along with this. This doesn't sound right. And that was
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm like, something about this 100 women coming out of nowhere saying that Bill Cosby was assaulting them and since 1962, that doesn't even sound right. It's not logical.
Yeah.
Not during that era.
Right. Right. Right.
It's insane, but people were believing it. So yeah, it's just I think it's going to take real people stepping up. And I think folks like you, Dewan, you're wonderful. I love what you're doing with this, with our history and music. You keep doing it. I support you, all of you, Tariq, all of y'all. Y'all are doing a great job.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Um,
Absolutely.
that's much appreciated because, like I said, you put that, and that's you were an inspiration to me watching you before I got on social media because I would tweet it, but before I got on YouTube doing it, I saw how you literally just took the mantle of what you were talking about, and you were able to steer the conversation in spite of what, because everything in the media was going one way. You were like that one voice that was like no, and then when you would click on some of the stuff, it's like yo, what the f? And because I already know it was easy for you to win me over because I already know how propaganda works. I just didn't know. I just didn't have the other story yet until you started
Hmm.
putting it out there. But it's a lot of people who don't know how propaganda works. They really think they're getting the real news. And
Right.
so, I know you had to take a lot of arrows in them, especially in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and so I know it took a lot for you to stand up for that, which leads me to my next question. I'm about to put something on the screen right here. 44,000 black women galvanized uh, support for Kamala Harris Sunday night. So you see that big Chuck E. Cheese smile she has on her face, like she's looking like she just stole the whole cookie jar with that smile on her face. So they're trying to make it in frame as if black women are down for Kamala Harris. Can you talk to us? And I'm gonna talk some stuff about Kamala, but what do you think about as a black woman? I know you don't speak for all black women. You speak for yourself, but from your
Mhm.
point of view, how does Kamala Harris play a role in your life? How do you view Kamala Harris? Is she somebody that's your sister girl that you just down for? Talk to us.
Absolutely not. When I look at Kamala Harris, I just see a typical career politician. That's what I see. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see anything outstanding. I don't see anything amazing. I see someone that worked their way to the top to get where she is in more
Mm-hmm.
ways than one.
Right.
Without going too much into that, I see her as a typical, a typical politician. I don't. I don't get it. I know she was an attorney general out there in California. I've heard the stories of, keeping folks locked up for little of nothing for years and years, and how she treat parents and their kids, and being a top cop. I've never understood it. To me, she doesn't seem authentic. I feel like she puts on whatever person she wants to be. This whole, she's Indian, I'm hearing she's Indo Jamaican, her father. You're trying to figure out, what are you? I don't know who you are. I don't
She the
know who you
United
are.
Colors of Benetton. That's what she is.
I don't get it. And like we just said, propaganda. I do not believe there were 44,000 women on a call raising money for Kamala Harris. I think that is fake. Do I think there were black women on that call? Absolutely. Do I believe that every single one of them were black? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And
I
and my
think that's propaganda.
and when I saw like Jennifer Lewis on the call and everything, I'm like, if y'all had that many women on the call, and you can only get 1.5 million, that was a sorry call. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, I mean,
Right.
like that's all you can get is 1.5 million. Let
Yeah.
me for you mathematicians out there, what's the average you get from that? $1.5 million.
Hmm.
That's too many zeros. Let me start back. I put 15 million. 1.5 million divided by 44,000. And I think they use that word 44,000 on purpose because it's reminding all the religious black women about the 144,000 and all that. I think they use these names, these words symbolically, these numbers. You know what I mean? And so it
Hmm.
shows about $34. 30 let's round it up. $35 a person. That's sorry. If y'all really
Yeah.
care about this sister girl, y'all couldn't average $100 a person, $50 a person. So on one hand, it's sorry that's all y'all got. On the other hand, and this is a question I really want to ask you: how is it they can raise $1.5 million a day for this, but when it comes to black people having independent movies or some putting money behind the reparations cause, we could be putting money behind politicians. Imagine if we can rally $1.5 million to buy a few politicians locally to push this reparations cause to. It shows that we have what we can need to rally around, but we rally for the wrong shit. How do you feel as a black woman? Y'all been used as the face for just wrong-headed policy, wrong-headed politics.
Yeah, it's offensive. It's bogus. It's offensive, and I still question. Like I said, we found out about Kamala, I guess, taking over for Joe, what, on Sunday?
Yeah.
And then that same night, you're able to get 44,000 black women. I just find that all very odd. You can do that just like that. That sounds planned to me. And wasn't what number was Obama? He was the what, 40?
44.
There you go. I'm putting it together.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they want her to be basically Obama in a dress. That's what I think they want.
Uh-huh.
And to me, it's
Or in a
offensive. And like you
pantsuit.
said,
But go ahead.
right, exactly. So when you think about it, it's insulting, especially knowing that you have folks out here on the ground trying to get this reparations thing going, especially out there in California with you. You see folks out here, y'all have to atone for what you did to our people in this country. And you pretend
Yeah.
like this isn't happening. You see these rallies with Tariq and everyone, and you see this isn't happening.
Uh-huh.
Tone
Right.
deaf.
Right. And so it's almost like they're playing right in front of our face. Not almost. It's like no, they are playing in front of our face.
Right.
It's and I tell people this all the time. Look, in order for this politics and stuff to work, it's like for those of you who listen, y'all know, you know what I always say. The way this system works, the way they think. Let's put ourselves in the people, the lineage and the bloodline of the people who run things in this country. Part of a lot of their
Mhm.
doctrine is they feel karmically the way they see karma and the way they see their life. If they
Mhm.
tell you what they're going to do before they do it, they absolve themselves of karma. I'm told you what I'm gonna do. Did you listen? Did you pay attention? They play in our face all the time. They running through these movies. They show you right there, like they tell us this is a fake thing. This is this is they do whatever the hell they want to do all the time. I got a baptism in that when Bush was elected. We all knew Gore won that election. Remember what happened
Mm-hmm.
with the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court was supposed to challenge that thing, and then it was all kind of fishiness going on around that Bush election. And then
Oh,
one day they woke up and said, "You know what? Case closed. Al Gore, you concede, right?" Do you remember that,
exactly.
Nicole? Is it just me?
Oh my goodness. The ballots, the bumps.
The
I remember
the hanging chads. Remember that in 2000?
that was insane. That was so insane. He did win that. They stole that from
Yeah,
him.
they like in the but they like I was that was my first year in the college. Like I know about we voted in 2000, so that's going into the first semester of my second year in college when the whole
Hmm.
hanging chads, Gore Bush. So those are my first college level political science classes. I'm taking college level political science while all this shit's going on. So I paid like extra
Hmm.
close attention to what was going on because part of it was shit I wanted an A in my class. I ended up getting a C, but I passed. But
Right.
anyway, I just remember like, yo, they are playing like it was the evidence was real hard that there was a nefarious activity going on with Bush. It was something foul. It was going to the Supreme Court. And then one day Gore said, you know what? I quit. It's over. And the story was over. The next day, they went to talking
Hmm.
about, remember Congressman Gary Condit, and he had
Hmm.
that assistant of his that was murdered, and they that became the news, and it was just next story. Then 9/11 hit,
Yep.
and then it was over. Once 9/11 hit, it like even the few murmurs gone, and they do
Yep.
this shit in front of us all the time.
Yep. You are so, yeah, I remember that. She went missing and all. Yep, I remember that. It's wild to me, and it's crazy that people don't see this, for what it is. You want people to see it for what it is, but everybody's not on that thinking level, unfortunately. But
Un-
yeah, I hate that they play us like this, and I hate that a lot of our people fall for it. And even with Trump and the whole, I didn't even get into that with the attempted assassination of him, like
yeah,
now with that, could there be conspiracies, and I know folks feel like there could be stuff surrounding that, but I think this whole election, this whole political season has been just so insane. To me, it's not that far out that you get one person, all you need is one person. There's guns everywhere gone crazy to try to kill him. That's not so far fetched to me,
yeah.
'cause
I'm glad
it's
you
just
said
like,
that. I'm glad you said that. I'm reading the super chat that I'm gonna get back to what you said. We saw 6 months ago their strategic move. You're running to the black church mobilizing. Yeah, they were going to the black church about 6 months ago. Biden, we saw that. But
hmm.
you
Hmm.
right about that. They played right in front of our. They did that right in front of our face, didn't they?
It's wild. It's really
Yeah,
wild when you sit back.
yeah. It's like and like what they do is I look at even more recently when it came down to when we just see before Biden left office, oh he's fine, everything is good, everything is fine. We see this man, he's as stiff as a surfboard. He's been that way for about 2 years, and
Yeah.
like it's like they're talking and playing that right in front of our face, like you don't see what you want to what you're seeing. So
Hmm.
but again, that's why I'm glad we have people like you here to really help highlight what's going on. Um, and so, hey, I'm getting calls. My calls been coming through. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say regarding the whole Kamala situation or the Sonya situation?
At least with Kamala, I feel like I don't like how they're trying to frame it like black men are just against her. When you go
Gender
on,
war.
yes, the gender war crap. That's another thing that just does not help. If you want us to support you as a unit, you think being on this gender war tip is helping anything? Absolutely not. You're just pissing them off even more. I never understood that. That's stupid. But anyway, the fact that they're trying to do that, and then you go on, X, aka Twitter, and you see there are black women posting their pictures saying, I'm not with Kamala. I'm not standing with her. I'm not supporting her. They see this, they
Oh yeah, I'm
monitor
gonna pull that
everything we
up.
do, but they want to put it on black men like y'all are
Yeah. Let me see if I can find that because I don't know if I bookmarked any of those, but I thought that was a beautiful thing that I saw yesterday on Twitter. I saw a
doing. Yeah.
lot of black women saying, "I'm a black woman and I do not stand with Kamala," and I saw this stuff getting retweeted thousands of times by people. Like it was a lot of those tweets getting put out yesterday.
Oh
I'm
yeah, it
not sure
was
if I can
trending. It
find
was
the
like Black America.
yeah, and that's what the part I want to talk about now, as far as this is a message that I want to give to the fellas out there and to us as black people. There's always this perception that black men and black women don't get along, and it's something that
Hmm.
isn't homegrown between us. It's a story that's reported on us by outside people, and it's exacerbated by black people who don't like themselves, who have their own mommy and daddy issues, so they end up speaking the loudest, while the rest of
Hmm.
us that have some sanity just sit around kind of just reading what they're saying and not really talking too much. What we're seeing right now, and I got to say this, what we're seeing right now is a lot of black women, more than I've seen in my life, speak up and be proactive with saying more than what the Beltway wants us to say. Because the day Kamala jumped out and said she's going to run, you saw the Chucks and Pearls crew. We used to seeing them be loud and wrong. You know, we saw the whole, and there's no disrespect to HBCU crew, but y'all know who y'all are. The organizations, the Greeks, and we saw y'all pop out on Sunday like ski wee. Yeah, we ain't heard y'all say nothing since she been in office.
Right.
And on Monday, the response was a lot of black women saying no, not only no, but hell no. How, like, what have
Exactly.
you've seen the jump, Nicole, in your work in just in the last decade? Can you explain this ongoing momentum we've seen, and then from your point of view of black women being more vocal and resisting what the dominant society is saying about y'all?
I think, which I love. I love the fact that there are more of us getting on here and speaking out. That's something, even when I started my YouTube Odyssey, I said, you know what? It would be so great if I could see more of us out here, more black women out here, not just anybody, but at least black women with sense, common sense, and you see things for how they truly are. Thank God for folks like Vicky Dillard. Thank God for them, because
Yeah.
we need that, because unfortunately we have too many folks who have sold out to the
Yes.
plantation to be their voices, and think they speak for us. No, you don't speak for us. I'm not saying I speak for black women, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be a black woman that's going to speak my mind. You
Yeah.
may not like it, that's okay,
Yeah.
but you don't speak for me.
Yeah.
We needed more authentic black women out here speaking truth to power, and I just got tired of it. And that's why I came out
Mm.
from behind the shadows. I'm like, someone has to say something. I see y'all are doing the work, but we have to say something too. We can't just let the Democratic Party be our mouthpiece. No, and folks that talk for them. I just no,
Yeah.
you know. So
And
it's just great to see more of us coming out of our shells and saying, you know what? No, I am here, and you don't speak for me.
yeah, that's what I'm loving right now, because it's like I would always say it, because as men we can only go so far,
Hmm.
and because when we say what we have to say to women, you're going to get the contingent, the heartbreak contingent, and there's no disrespect to them, but you have a lot of people who, the minute a man speaks, it's you're a man, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what it's like to be a woman. So we see some of these issues, but we can't necessarily say it. And I've been saying for a long time, we need women to step up and address women, because a man could only say so much, a man could only go so far. And and,
Right.
and out of respect, out of respect, we should only go so far. Just ain't like with women when it comes to men cleaning up our stuff. Men, There's too many men waiting around for women to make the move first. And I tell them all the time, the whole point of you being a man is to lead, nigga. You make the first move. So, it's
Mm-hmm.
our job to make the first move. I don't care how many times your heart's been crushed or you've been pissed off and things have been. Stop being so damn sensitive and still be a man, wake up and try it again. That's the only way it's going to work for black men and black women to get together. We got to talk to each other directly. So men got to
Exactly.
talk to other men and we got to like huddle up and be like, yo, dog, cry your little river in the corner over there and then come back when you're ready so we can make this thing happen. The same way women got to go and talk to women, and as we heal ourselves, we can then really have a better communication with each other. But one thing that's going a long way, in my opinion, of rebuilding that bond between black men and black women that was split not by us, but by these same folks, is the women stepping up and responding to them folks and telling them to be quiet. The same way men, the same way we talk about Stephen A. Smith and them kind of dudes, y'all kind of Van Jones crying. We got as men, we got to address that shit. You little hoe ass nigga, what the fuck is you doing? And you saw that Van Jones crying shit. Like, dude, what are you
Oh,
doing? Like, so it's
that
good to see
man.
the women doing the same thing.
Absolutely. Because at some point, something has to give. I just, Van Jones, I just can't. You mentioned him, and that just threw me off.
He's like a granddaddy. Oh my god, he's a granddaddy. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss Joe. God.
That guy is gone. They have bug broken him in more ways than one.
Oh my God. He's been. Who remind me of Nicole? If you listen to that song by Diana Ross, Upside Down, the
Oh, yeah.
Democrats turned him inside out, round and round. That's how the Democrats screwed him. Upside down, you turn to me, you give. That's him. That's his booty holding the Democrats. Sorry for being exclusive. I mean, I was just for being rude, whatever, but sorry.
That's the perfect song for him.
Upside down,
Oh,
Democrats, you
God.
turn me inside out. That's God.
That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. He wants to go out like that.
Who wants to go
It
out
ain't
like
work.
that? And as men, we it's our job, it's my job personally, and every man listening, it's our jobs to step up and say, no, that does not represent black men. That he's a
Mm-mm.
boy. He ain't
Exactly.
us.
Mm-mm.
And yesterday on Monday and Tuesday, really on especially on Tuesday, I saw, and it could just be my algorithm. Well, I kind of I have an incognito. I go to my incognito to get outside my algorithm. But I did see overall, especially the numbers of retweets, way more black women saying, "Hey, look, Kamala don't think for me. The Democrats don't think for me. It's more of us out here." And for me, as a man, as a black, it's been so great to see because as men, we can't keep telling women, "Hey, the Democrats is using y'all against us." The Democrats are dividing that line. They are the ones, the Democrats, the feminists, this whole liberal agenda. They the main ones driving a wedge between us because they the ones that got access to media, and they the ones that go find the ones who had a bad relationship with their dad or a bad breakup, and they put them on TV 24 hours a day. Meanwhile, you got for every one broken one, you got 500 wholesome black women that they, of course, they had their situations, but they had to sit on
Mhm.
straight as far as raising their children, being a members of the community, and being down with their men. Because we can even look at the numbers. I don't like going straight to numbers, but black women are very extremely loyal to black men. You can look at the marriage rates and prove that. Hell, we be the ones that be dipping out on y'all mostly, you know.
Mhm.
So in action, y'all the most down with us, but the ones that are the most tainted, they the ones that get the political appointee positions to be the speaker or the politician or the mayor, like Kamala Harris, the one who didn't even have a black dad, wasn't even raised by her Jamaican dad because he was in Jamaica, or I mean, sorry, teaching at Stanford when her mama took her
Mhm.
to Canada.
Mm.
So the women like you don't get any kind of a voice. So it really takes you guys to say, you know what, I'm going to create my voice. And so I think, like I said,
Mhm.
we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And it has to be done. And I just want to say, because I know this is just a Democrat shield tactic. Just because we're anti Kamala doesn't mean we're pro Trump either.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Because,
right, right.
that's how a lot of them think. They think, oh, so you're pro Trump. Like, it's like a robot. That's the next thing they say. It's like, no, there are actually people out here that don't like neither one of them. That's me. I don't like either one of them. Okay.
hmm
So just because I'm calling out Kamala doesn't mean I'm pro Trump.
Exactly.
And
And
it's just wild to me that they think like that.
I'm glad you brought that point up because it's the same. Because somebody asked me, "Well, Dewan, you ever since Kamala, you go so hard on the Democrats, you go so hard on Kamala." Let me make it very clear why 10 times to one I'm going to go harder on the Democrats than the Republicans because the Republicans, fool, aren't asking me for my vote. The Republicans aren't knocking on my door saying vote for me. The Republicans aren't sending me mailers. The Republicans aren't in my algorithm saying vote Democrat, vote Republican. Hey, here's this gun-toting white boy. Here, give me a vote. The Republicans aren't asking for shit from me. So I would look like a damn fool. It would be like talking into an empty barrel to be screaming at somebody who ain't even talking to you. The Democrats are actively
Mhm.
talking to me. Every 2 years, it's an election. They in my face, and I'm a registered independent. I'm not even
Me too.
registered with the Democrat Party. When John Kerry lost to Bush, I said, "Oh, this is a punk ass party. They ain't got no scruples about saying for them to Bush." That's when I reclassified myself 20 years ago to an independent because of the John Kerry loss to Bush too. And I was like, I can't be a part of a party like that. So for 20 years, I haven't been part of that party, but they always knocking on my door. They always sending me text messages. Every time I turn on the news, they're saying vote for me, not because we're gonna give you something, but because I'm black and you're black, so vote for me. So the Democrats are always in my face. That's why they get the heat. Because they in my face and they offering me shit. They in my face and saying vote for me because I'm black. Okay, cool. If I'm voting for you because you're black, let me check your black record first, Kamala.
Mm,
Oh, it don't exist. So let's talk about it. That's why we talk about the Democrats so hard, because they always in our damn face.
exactly. And why would we not talk about them when 90% of black folks vote for them?
Right.
What sense does that make? That's like me. If I'm always going to McDonald's, why would I go suddenly to Burger King? I'm giving you my money. I'm giving you my attention. I'm giving you all my energy. No, but
Right.
you saying anything? You ain't talking about Burger King, how they cook your food. How stupid does that
That
sound?
sounds stupid. I'm not going to Burger King. I don't even go there. What are you talking about?
I'm
Like,
coming to you.
and they're not knocking on my they're not asking me for anything. Nothing. They're not asking for my vote. If you want my vote, you got to tell me what you offering. And if you say the only you offer is you being black, then I'm gonna check your black record. And when your black record come back and say, "Oh, I identified as Indian my whole fucking life until it was time for an election, or until it was time to go to Howard and get some of those benefits that black people get," if those are the only times you can identify as black, then I'm gonna have to be like, "Well, your black record came back. Your black credit score is a 555, and that's not good enough. I only look for 720 FICOs and up." Well,
Hmm.
why can't we be like the bank? You ain't got an issue with the bank trying to find out if somebody's a qualified borrower. Well, I'm shit. If you're gonna run on blackness, you want to qualify your blackness, or don't run on blackness. Run on your record. Okay, vote for me
Hmm.
because I'm gonna give you this policy, that policy, that policy. I'm cool with that. But if you say if you go to the Indians or you go to the Ukrainians, you say I'm gonna give you all these policies, and then you come to me say vote for me because I wear chucks and pearls, then yeah, you're about to get all the way analyzed. Joe Biden, I know you on your gut. Joe Biden probably in hospice right now for all we know. But until you go, and even through death, and I'm gonna say rest in peace and give honor on the day you go when it happens. But sooner or later, you're gonna have to put it right back on that chopping block, like James Van Buren, like George Washington, like Rutherford B. Hayes, Woodrow Wilson, and all the dead
Hmm.
racist fucks that did something to us. So
Exactly.
that gotta
It's
happen, or don't fuck with
right.
us.
Especially when when y'all are like dominating all the areas in politics? Why why
Right.
why wouldn't we be coming to you, pressing you about issues? You in the House
Right.
and Senate, it's most of y'all, and y'all still ain't doing nothing for us. And we're the most loyal block out of any other demographic. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. It don't make sense. And so, but that's what it is. I don't want you, I don't want to have you here all day, Nicole. I know you got things to do.
Are
Close
you
it out.
good?
Whatever you wanted to say to get it all to finish it out. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much as always, Dewan. I gotta have you back on my platform. You know, with
Yes.
me and YouTube, I've like fallen out of love with that platform or this
Yeah.
platform, so to speak.
We
But I
miss you on
do
YouTube.
I know I feel like I've just kind of lost the love for it or the energy for it, but I will be back on. I do plan to go live, especially with all this going on and with Sonya and whatnot. I will go live tomorrow. I'm gonna have Harvey on, and we're gonna talk about this as well. But I just want us to be so careful, be so mindful. Watch out for your folks. If you have friends or family that have mental issues, please, y'all have a work out a plan, work out something, because seeing what happened to Sonya was so just. I'm just sick about it. Just seeing this and hearing this, we have to look out for each other because these folks are not looking out for us. Kamala Harris ain't gonna come to your house if you get a bullet to the face. Okay, so we got to look out for our own. We really do. And I just thank you all so much. Thank you, Dewan. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm on no time constraint, but I do appreciate it. So thank you.
Oh yeah. If you want to stick around, 'cause I'm be on for like another 20 minutes. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. But I know if, I know people don't want they in the chat right. Don't go, Nicole. So if you gotta go, you can go ahead. But if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. Okay, cool. So yeah, because this is what I wanted to talk about a little bit now when it comes down to it, y'all. So Nicole's gonna stick around with us. We good. So we good. And so what I wanted to go into now is just us as a people to really I like on my channel to take time to look at where we are versus where they say we are. And what I've
Mm,
been seeing is so many more black women stepping up. I've been seeing a lot of black men retort and go against because on our end, you saw that bullshit that I put up yesterday where they had Roland Martin had his black men breakfast and we didn't see we know DL Hughley, that dude right there. That I don't know what's wrong with him. He with that gray beard and black hair, he looked like a raccoon, don't he? And them dark glasses he be wearing, that motherfucker, he telling us what he is off top. Um, and
oh gosh.
he do, don't you see the gray beard, the black glasses? Nigga, you telling us you a coon, ain't you? And
Right there. Mm,
we checking these people, and I want to say that I think that us as a people, we're more mature, politically mature now than we were in 2016, than we were in 2020. And it seems as if every 2 years when these elections come around, we get a little bit more mature, a little bit more savvy than we were the last time around. I think it's a good I think that's a good I think we're trending in the right direction. We ain't there yet. What do you think about that, Nicole?
yes.
But I think we're trending in the right direction.
Yes, you described that perfectly. I don't want to sound cold hearted, morbid, cruel, but unfortunately, I think, uh, I want to say definitely with the millennials, and I say like maybe some of Gen Z or I'm sorry, Gen X. I think this is where you start to see that break, especially for me. It was in 2016. It was right after Obama's, last last part of his presidency is when I woke up. I
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? Because I was on that plantation.
I was
I
on
was
that
sitting up
Trump thing
there.
too. I mean that Obama thing too. I was on that.
Yep. The first, I said, you know what? Let's just give him. Let's see how you do in the second half. And then reality hits, and he's in like the seventh year. You're like, there's nothing's gonna change here. Nothing. This is a lame duck. He's in lame duck mode. Basically, the last one is lame duck mode. Being a
Yeah,
president. What can they do? What can they do?
nothing.
Really? So to me, it's just I had that moment, and then when you saw those, was it in South Carolina, that church gets shot up by Dylan Roof?
Yeah,
That right there did something to me.
on Juneteenth.
That is what really, like, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, Obama? What do you? Didn't he start busting out singing Al
I,
Green, and what
I'm
are we
glad.
doing here?
I'm glad you brought that up because it brings back a point I wanted to make earlier, but I forgot to make.
Hmm.
I want to know your point of view on this, Nicole. Because I see things from a symbolism point of view. When Obama was in office, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, that's when we saw all the shootings: Sandra Bland, Alter Sterling, Rakia Boyd, Trayvon Martin, got it kicked off, Eric Gardner. We saw these things happen. Like it seemed like for a while, every month or two, a black person was getting messed up um, by the police, and this was happening in front of us while we had a black president in office. And I thought that was America's way of thumbing the nose in our face. Hey, look, we can kill you. They were telling us without telling us we can kill you, and even your black president can't do nothing about it. Now, fast forward to 2022, 2020, George Floyd gets killed. Those police officers go to jail, but the behavior stays the same. The when George Floyd get killed, the president at the time is Trump, and those police officers go to jail. And and then it codified the people to enough to really make some moves. And they done since turned George Floyd into a martyr, as if he's some kind of hero of ours. No disrespect to his family, but he's a victim, not a hero, from my point of view. And then now we had this situation. We got the quote unquote Democrat in office, the quote unquote black woman running for president, and this happens right in front of our face. Are they foreshadowing? Do you think if she gets in office, more of this shit's to come for us?
I absolutely think so. And I think, I know I was watching one of Dr. Umar's many videos. I know that's a whole nother.
Yeah, he's interesting. Hey, Umar's interesting. It'd be some shit you'd be like, what? It'd be other shit you'd be like, but you gotta watch.
Right, right. He's pronged, so he'll say some real on stuff like, yeah, and then he'll say some real out there. I'm like, okay, no. But he did say something the other day that I think is very true. He mentioned, if we have to be careful, because if Kamala is elected, y'all had better have your head on a swivel, because this country, or a certain sector of this country, is going to be livid. And I think he's absolutely right. To your point, we're going to have to be careful whether he's in there or even her. I think with her, it'd probably be even worse.
It'll be even
You know,
worse.
it'll be even worse, because at least if Trump is in there, they can feel like they won. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They can kind of like, yeah, we're taking our country back. That kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They're less
So,
motivated
right.
because they feel like they running things again. Like so, it's like yeah, we can leave the niggers alone right now because we running things.
Right. If I'm thinking of that aspect, but with Kamala, yeah, I am definitely nervous. I'm not even gonna lie, because seeing this, what happened with Sonya, it just kind of like, it just, with this Project 25 they keep talking about, for instance. Well, what's happening with Project 2024? What is this we're seeing right now? What are we going through right now that isn't already happening? The
Right.
propaganda, the boogeyman, all this stuff is already happening.
Right. It's already happened. And then with those of us who were around pre 9/11, we saw how the world changed just in that. That Patriot Act done the Patriot Act already took away all of our rights. Anything that
Hmm.
comes on after is just a formality to make it to where now it's on the books for the white folks because yeah, the Patriot Act already done did everything y'all scared about Project 2025 doing. They already have those rights now. They've had them since 2001. People don't understand that. When a president declares martial law, anything that's in that Project 2025, if they declare that's what needs to be done in the name of national safety, it gets done. They don't need any
Exactly.
more new powers to get this stuff done.
Hmm.
What are these people
Yeah.
talking about?
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, when are you gonna really get it? Y'all are being used. And to my initial point, when I said, I don't mean to sound morbid or, cold hearted or cruel, but it's literally gonna take the older generation dying off. I think that's what it's
Whew.
gonna take to
They
get
don't.
more of us to wake up. And then we got to teach the younger kids. Y'all can't fall for this. We deserve so much more. Our kids
Mm-hmm.
deserve so much more than this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take that because, love my mom. I'm not rushing God. I'm not rushing her to die, but she's died in the wool, Democrat. I can't even half the time I go over there and she has the MSNBC blasting. I'm like, I gotta go. I can only take 10 minutes of this. And she's just,
You
and why ain't they with Biden? Blah, blah, blah. I don't even try it anymore. I used to try to talk to my mom and say, Mom, this is just what I'm seeing. This, I don't agree with this. I'm independent now. Blah, 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 blah. I said, you know what? You can't talk with it. I love you, but the
you
politics
can't
stuff,
talk about it.
we can't talk about it.
I
Because
was
some of them are just gone.
I was just having that conversation on the show yesterday because from a caller that called in, or somebody made a comment yesterday in our chat room, and we talked about that. It was like I might say to my parents, if you blessed enough to still have your parents here, you're a millennial like me, you know that we all got our marching orders. We just don't talk about this stuff with our parents. Like
Yeah.
they're in like, I love them. I want to value them, but hey, that's just something that happens when people get of a certain age. They get dyed in the wool, whatever political thing they've been voting on during the years they was working, and all they want is that. So they have a different political interest, and so like I think at least my parents, they used to watch MSNBC all day, every day. They've at least pulled back from watching. They don't watch that stuff anymore. Like, cause I told my parents a long time ago, hey, that stresses you out. So now my
Hmm.
parents, they be watching old shit from the 60s like Gunsmoke, reliving their childhood on TV now. They don't be, why? But for the little that they do watch, they still think they know it all when it comes to what's going on with the politics and why we need Joe. And I was talking to my parents just last week. I was like, regardless of what you want, that man body ain't gonna make it. So you got to start thinking about something different. They were like,
Hmm.
"Well, it's better than Trump." I'm like, "Well, what about what can possibly replace him that we didn't elect if he died?"
What are
And
you
it
gonna
was
do?
like, "Well, I was like, let's just talk about pops." So the Lakers, man, in summer league, what the Lakers gonna do? That's
You have to literally change the subject because my mom will be literally screaming, and what is it? And I can't stand that Trump. And that I'm just like, oh my God. It doesn't matter what team you're on. They do the same thing. And it's scary. It's kind of scary. Because you're
yeah,
like, really? You got folks like that for Trump, you got folks like that for Biden. And that's why I said, I don't want any part of these two parties. I'm independent. I've been since 2016.
yes,
You know, I can't
yeah.
deal with it.
That's it, and that's a good thing, and that goes back to. So I want to transition to what some people will be saying. So they're like, "Well, you either have Trump or you have Biden." That's a false illusion. It's not true. You don't have either Trump or Biden. And when it comes to politics, there's always a third rail, and the decision to abstain while staying politically aware and politically engaged is a
Hmm.
most powerful tool because you're part of the discussion, you're part of the engagement, your input is being heard, but if nothing is being done to address the input, you don't give your vote. Why? Because the people who are doing things, quote unquote, there's going to come to a point they can only do what they do with your vote. It's the only way they can do what they do. Now, national politics, that's done by the Electoral College. We have less control over national politics, but we still can apply these principles nationally, and we definitely need to apply them locally. If they're not talking what you're talking, do what they do. When your congressman, when your senator is at work doing their job and there's a proposal on the table that neither advances their position and can possibly hurt their position, what they do is abstain. We're not going to get a vote. I'm not going to vote for this. Then what happens? The people who need these things passed in Congress, in the Senate, they see you are abstaining. They know they need 270 votes to get this thing done, and they counting on your vote because they know these senators over here ain't buying it. They know at least it's a chance for you. Then what you say is, okay, I'll give you my vote, but in return, I need boomty wham boomty bam. And that's how it always works. That's how it works with the UN. That's how it works with the parliament in Great Britain. That's how it works in all.
Hmm.
That's how it works in negotiation. When you go to buy something, when you go buy the car, you're not bound to buy the car just because you're in negotiation with the salesman. You put your number out there, you put your offer out there, and if the salesman doesn't meet that offer, it's their job to either meet it or it's your job to either you then say, okay, you don't have to say it. That's like saying, okay, I'm buying a car, and the salesperson they told me I either got to pay 30,000 for this car or 20,000 for this car, and I don't know which one to do. You can leave, fool. The car's only worth $5,000 anyway. You negotiating for a $5,000 car, and they saying you can pay 30,000 to 20,000. Take the third rail, dummy, and leave. And then if
Right.
they want to sell that car bad enough, they will call you and give you an honest offer. We got the same power as the electorate to be engaged actively politically, but I ain't giving you shit unless you talk. I know I can't get it all, but you got to give me something. What do you think about that?
You are on the money, absolutely correct. I could not agree more because this whole notion that we can only choose between these two, it's nonsense. They know it's nonsense. And then when you hear, oh well, if you vote for this, you vote for third party or the Green Party, you're just giving a vote for Trump or you're giving a vote for that person. And it's just like, but I hear that mostly from the shields on the left, the whole giving your vote away. I thought this was a part of the process to vote, period. This is how you know folks and their agendas. They're not
Right,
actually about what they're saying.
right,
It shouldn't matter. We're voting. We're a part of the process. That's what I thought.
right. You're part of
So
the
it's
process.
yeah. This is what I'm supposed to do. And you can't say nothing if you don't vote. Well, if I vote third party, I'm going to talk regardless. I don't care if I vote or not. I'm in this country. I pay taxes. I'll say what the hell I want to say. They can. Why can't we?
Right, right.
The nerve.
Exactly.
When you
Right.
pay my taxes, you pay my bills. I will be quiet. Until then, you won't tell me a damn thing.
I want to say, I want to send a quick shout out to the chat room. Oh, I just crossed from 22,000 subs. That's what's up. Give me a
Hey,
shout.
congratulations.
But I want to say what's up to the chat room. I'm looking at I have two screens. I have my YouTube chat screen and I have the other screen. And shouts out to the YouTube filter. I have some dickhead that keep typing in the other screen and he thinks that we see that the people see. I can see what you typing, dude, but the rest of the chat room can't. So you just type that same thing 45 times in a row. Understand that shit's getting sent to my spam drive. I got a view. See on my thing, I kind of got a view of the spam drive, and then if I turn on
Uh-huh.
YouTube, I got a view what's actually on YouTube, and it's some asshole going off in the spam drive. Dude, that's going off. The reason why nobody's responding to you is because you're going to the spam drive. All right. I know blacks for Trump. That's what's up. You like Trump. I get it. You like Trump, but Trump don't like you. And Trump would you know what Trump would do? Blacks for Trump. And excuse my vulgarity, Nicole. I don't mean to say like this with a lady on the line,
Oh
but
no, you're good.
Trump will hook you up with his most disease riddled woman that he bought from Europe and say, "Here, take her. She's all yours." And then yeah, you get that, and he'll laugh as you sit in hospice. And so that's how Trump is for you. He'll give you something, but it might be something you don't want that come along with it.
Right.
So don't be
Right.
so on any of these politicians. I'm not for none of these motherfuckers. I'm for sitting back because as black people, Nicole, we always the one that decide what happens and we get nothing for it. In
Nothing.
other words, we're the one that evens the playing out. If we withdraw and back away, you know what's in my opinion is going to happen? They're going to return back to how they are when we're not around, and that's fight each other. These people hate
Yep.
each other. We see it right now. They be bombing up places. Trump is on their side and they shooting the motherfucker last week. These people cannot The main thing that stops them from going at our necks is when of going at each other's necks is when we jump in trying to play referee. We ain't gotta be the referee, black people. We can just sit
Hmm.
back and watch them fight this out. What you think about that?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like they end up eating each other alive. You get so folks get so sucked into politics and these folks, and you're ruining relationships. You're ruining sometimes even marriages because folks are so intertwined and just obsessed with this that they probably don't even know you exist, could care less, barely do anything for you.
Uh huh.
So the more as I've gotten older, I'm just like, why am I sitting up here losing it over folks like this who could truly give less than a damn? Okay. I'm sure if I'm walking down the street, they wouldn't even acknowledge me or you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm just over it. I unless I see you doing something significant, and I'm tired of us being political slaves, because that's what it's like. We're just political slaves. We
Right.
do
Right.
all this
Right.
work
Right.
and
Right.
then get nothing in return for it. I'm done with that. I'm so over it. So over it.
I'm so over. And
And oh
somebody
no,
in
no,
the
you can go.
chat,
Mhm.
somebody in the chat said Kamala has brought no division with blacks, men and women. That's your mind. This is somebody who obviously,
A shill.
yeah, they that's either that's probably a white guy back there, or it's somebody who picked up and started paying attention to politics uh, around the time of Memorial Day or something like that. Because I'm
No
not even gonna
division, but
argue that. We
40.
did a whole show on that.
Right, no division, but they're touting that there are 44,000 black women on a call. What is that? What is
Right.
that?
She's going around talking about, all this black woman stuff, and she ain't even a black woman. That's the worst part about it. She only says that for our votes, and all the black men that she targeted, and black women, because she targeted black women in the school system. And people are like, "Well, they didn't go to jail for a long time." Well, guess what? They still got it on their record, and once it got on their record, that messed up their job opportunities. That messed up where places, possible apartments they could have moved to, because at the time
Hmm.
California had a thing that just got turned over just this past January 1st. You can no longer do background checks on people, but people who at them kind of hits, apartment managers. I know I've been running buildings for over 15 years. People like that
Hmm.
were getting, not from me because I didn't care, but I know other people who had buildings. They were denying people like that places to live, so they have to live in lower quality neighborhoods when they could afford to live in better quality neighborhoods because of the shit Kamala put on their record. So I don't want y'all coming with no technicality saying, well, at least they weren't in jail that long. Well, they got records, God damn it, over simple shit like weed and truancy. So yeah, truancy charges. She was given a she
Yeah.
was given weed charges after weed became legal in Cal, not legal, it didn't become legal technically in 2016, but it was decriminalized. When we got decriminalized, she still found a way to get a spike in marijuana convictions after it got decriminalized, and the disproportionate amount of those hit black people, black men specifically, and how she targeted black women in San Francisco was truancy laws, and she was
Hmm.
using black women not taking their kids to school as a face of truancy and threatening. She didn't even, although nobody or very few people actually got put in jail, they got threatened, they got harassed, and a lot of them got marks on their record, even though they may not have spent time in jail that night. Because the technicality will say, well, nobody spent time in jail. Well, they still got truancy violations put on their record, so that still means something. That's what she was doing.
Right. Right. And that's what I was reading about with her with that. I'm just like, she does not sound like a good person. I'm sorry.
She
Something
is
about her seems just off.
right, right. So, but that's it.
Mhm.
But yeah, we about to get up out of here because I want to thank you. I wanted to go back to just before we get up out of here.
Mhm.
Sonya Massey and what you brought to that. Just I know you already like, kind of closed out a little bit earlier, but going back to, I just want to kind of bring it, tie it back up and tie it back to Sonya Massey and the power we have as a people to get things done and mobilize. Because we see how when they want to, they can mobilize around Kamala, but You know, at this time now, we know at the same time we can't depend on those celebrities that's going to mobilize us around Kamala, but we can depend on one another to put the story of Sonya Massey out there. So before we get up out of here, just from your point of view, what can we do to be an echo chamber and help you out and help push this message with about her situation?
I think us staying on top of the story, the details, especially eventually this story is going to leave us until maybe it circles back around when it's time for that demon to go to trial because he was charged with murder, with murdering her. So we have to pay close attention to how this trial is going to go, the details, and everything because he should get life. That should be life. Although Illinois doesn't have the death penalty, though I feel he deserves it, he should get life. And the DA and everyone that is involved with that case in Illinois, y'all had better do it right. They had better do it right. That's my thing. Us staying on top of it, making sure that that woman gets justice because there was no reason for that. Like I said, I felt like it was a hit. He did that because he was trying to get one off. And I believe he probably is associated with some of these white supremacist gangs or groups. You know, they like to come out here, hide their faces and with their little parades and stuff. Don't be surprised if he's one of them because they're out here. They're out here, y'all. So we just have to be careful, be mindful, and just, I would say, us staying on top of it and keeping it in the forefront. Even when it starts to, kind of go away and die off, we can't forget her and many like her. I mean, with the vet, oh, him already, we've already kind of forgotten him. Young vet, his name escapes me. You see how many of these stories come and go
Yep, they
that
come and they
killed
go.
him in his apartment, you know?
Yeah,
So staying on top of it, absolutely.
that's it. Stay on top of it, and that's
Stay
I
on top
appreciate.
of it.
I appreciate that. All right, thank you, Nicole, for giving us a call for calling in. I'm definitely gonna have you back on again to talk some more when some more pop off. Probably close to the
Okay.
election.
Thank you so much, Dewan, and thank y'all for listening.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
All right, bye bye.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all. So yeah, we gotta stay up on top of it. I'm going back to what we talking about. Somebody made a comment from when we were talking about Kamala, and this is a common misconception that I get. Somebody said, if your minor children are committing crimes, the parents should be held responsible. That's not what the truancy laws were, ma'am. It wasn't about minors. Do you know that one of the people that Kamala Harris used as an example, her child had an illness. He was missing school because he was sick. And Kamala still used her as an example of truancy because the kid was sometimes have to miss 2 and 3 weeks at a time because of illness. Every black kid is not a criminal. Although we do have some criminals within our community, they do not define our community for a whole. And we have to be smart enough and mature enough to see it that way. Because if we're not smart enough to decipher the difference between criminals within our community and good actors, how in the hell can you be mad at white folks for not being able to do the same? So we got to start seeing the humanity in one another before we start going around begging, crying, and pleading for other people to see the humanity in us. How about we give each other love and give each other the benefit of the doubt? How about that? Why can't we change that? Why can't we change give each other the benefit of the doubt when it comes to situations, when it comes to what's going on? Why can't we? All right, so I'm here to keep y'all informed. I want to thank Nicole again because of Sonya Massey. I can't watch that video, so I couldn't give y'all that breakdown. What Nicole just did, I wasn't gonna give y'all that because I saw a story. I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but I wasn't about to watch that shit, and I wasn't about to read all into it because, like I told y'all before, I'm for real in these streets out here. I got real life PTSD when it comes to these situations with the police because of some of the kids that I work with and some friends that I've had that was murdered by the police, and also some of the kids and families that I work with who have mental health deficiencies who've gone through similar issues. I've been the person that had to counsel children when things like this happen to their fathers. I was the person that had to counsel parents when things like this happen to their children. So for me personally, I'm out. If y'all looking for somebody, I know I'm not gonna be. Everybody in this black empowerment movement can't do everything. So if you're looking for me to be the voice of the newest person that got murdered by the police, I'm not gonna. I can't do it. I have another lane. There are other people out there that have that lane, and my job is to at least let them come in and explain it and put y'all up on information, put y'all up on game. And if you want to know more about it, if you want to go deeper into it, I encourage everybody to follow this story. That's why I brought Nicole on. So you guys can listen to somebody who's following the story so you can follow the story. DeJuan, I ain't going to be following too much. I'm going to be paying attention and making sure that I'm going to retweet certain things, but I'm not going to be elbows deep into it. I'm elbows deep in this shit in real life, so with my own clients, and so I'm good. But this is where we can pull each other up. This is where this is where y'all can pull me up. Keep me up on game as to what's going on in my chat room, because I'm just being honest. You know, I ain't gonna be following it too closely because my head is fucked up. But I will be following other things, and I'll be talking about those things that I follow. All right. And then when we need updates, I'll bring people in to give us updates and bring those experts in and let them have it. All right. But follow me over here on Patreon. Go to my Patreon. We've been breaking down the music, breaking down the history facts, breaking down all that good stuff over on Patreon. Patreon.com/DeJuanB. We got a lot of great stuff going on over there. Regular uploads, regular broadcasts. I got breaking down a whole behind music, how they stole R&B, how they stole our music. All that stuff is coming up. Is all being talked about right now over on Patreon. So I need y'all to join the live interview lounge. All right. Ooh, that was a lot. So I'm about to get up out of here. I gotta go cleanse with some good music and some weed. I gotta go smoke a blunt and burn some incense and chill out for a minute and play some music and woosah. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Thank y'all again for listening. I'm out.